they come here. Armando Vincenzio is one of those who came looking for something he and his fellow immigrants don't have in their native land: hope and an opportunity to seek jobs few Americans will take.
You know, I say the people I know, probably 90% of the people I know, they just come and look for work, and work hard.
Armando and the Vincenzio family started working for me about 28 years ago. I believe Armando was 15 at the time. He happened to be working in a crew. I just saw something special in him.
I love it to work for him, and I try to do my best. I like to learn a little bit each day. I think we never finish learning.
Farming in California's fertile Central Valley, Carrie and now Armando know the first-hand effects of a diminished labor force. One of the country's premier agricultural regions, Central Valley farming contributes more than $16 billion to the state economy. In recent years, the Valley has been short on workers, with fewer employees available to harvest, pack, and truck valuable fruits, vegetables, and nuts to market. Another industry hard hit by recent labor shortages was the pear industry of Northern California. Troubled in recent years by weather, there was optimism going into this one that it would be a comeback year for the pear. And everything looked good until harvest time when the pears were ready, but the workforce wasn't.
It is awful. I was crying this morning with one of our growers who told me he can't gamble anymore with the weather, the market conditions. Those things are adverse enough. Add to the fact that we now have to commit to a crop that we don't know if we can get it picked.
You got beautiful pears, and you can just stick your fingers through them because there's nothing left of them because they've been on the tree too long with no labor. I hope somebody here can help us and change things because we do really want to farm.
The future of the trees is probably call a bulldozer to take them out, which is really sad.
Raisin farmers have been particularly hard hit. The Central Valley produces 98% of the nation's raisin crop, but it is one of the most labor-intensive crops to harvest, so no labor means no crop, which doesn't bode well for other valuable crops in the valley either.
I see two things. I see there being crops left behind, people moving away from crops that we all enjoy. The heart of a lot of specialty crops for the United States cannot survive without labor, and we'll have to depend on foreign countries to grow those crops, foreign countries to grow those crops,
In Sacramento, the Van Stein family is one of the state's 2,000 dairy families. The farm's 600 cows mean economic life or death for the family dairy, and their vulnerability to a labor shortage has them worried. In California's largest commodity, there is no room for any shortages, especially when it comes to manpower.
You know, especially dairies, agriculture, and dairy farms, you know, it's 24/7, 365 days a year that somebody has to, you know, manage these cows. Some of the immigrants, and I fit that category too, because I wasn't born here either, but a lot of immigrants have taken the jobs that we can't get done here. They're doing the heavy lifting.
Overall, an estimated 1 million jobs are tied directly to California agriculture. In fact, every farm worker job creates 3 to 4 American jobs up and down the job stream, like production, suppliers, transportation, and manufacturing. All would be affected. Luana is part of a complicated H-2A program, which authorizes farmers to recruit and temporarily employ foreign workers if the Department of Labor certifies that workers cannot be found. The program, with its many bureaucratic requirements, is costly and doesn't respond to the short-term and changing demands of agriculture. Having been established in 1952, the program hasn't seen significant reform in 50 years. Something farmers say is simply unacceptable for the industry to stay afloat.
There's a lot of different issues that we have in common with other industries, but where we're extremely different is that we have a very unusual and variable needs when it comes to agriculture, labor, and sometimes it's intense. For some of us it's year-round, for some of us it's shorter periods of time. And fundamentally, if we don't have that labor to help us grow and harvest our crops, we can't do our business. And agriculture doesn't support illegal immigration. We never have. We have been asking and pleading with Congress to create legal access to a workforce that this industry is absolutely dependent on.
Farmers like Luana want legal workers with a secure border. They seek a program that puts neither the employer nor the worker in jeopardy. A 2003 study by the National Foundation for American Policy of Agricultural Guest Worker Programs shows a direct link between an effective guest worker program and the reduction of illegal migration into agriculture. In the same study, it found the number of authorized U.S. Border Patrol agents increased from 3,600 in 1990 to 10,000 in 2003, while illegal immigration into the U.S. rose by 5.5 million.
But people envision immigrants flooding into our country. They're not, those 12 or 14 million people aren't flooding into our country. They're here, they're part of our economy, they're part of several different service industries, so they're hardworking people that are adding to our economy.
I think the biggest misconception that people have about immigration reform is that we're going to legalize all of these people and they're going to take jobs away from Americans. But that's not the case. The unemployment rate in San Diego County is only 4%. We do not have the workers that want to work in these jobs.
Janet Kister owns and operates the Sunlit Nursery in San Diego and is part of the county's $900 million nursery and flower business. She counts on a staff of year-round workers to keep her business afloat, and she has seen firsthand how a successful guest worker program can work, thanks to workers like Octavio Chavez.
Octavio's been with us for 15 years. He started working out in the fields, planting plants, spacing them, and he had a little extra something.
It makes me feel like I belong to this country, because half of my life I spent in this country, half of my life in Mexico. So I came here when I was 17 years. So I feel like I really belong to this country.
Our employees are the most important resource that we have. They're actually the engine that runs this machine. And if we don't have employees, we won't have the machine.
They are just like you and me. They are trying to provide for their families. They need work. They're going to do what they can so that they can take care of their families. And that's why they're here, because there is opportunity, obviously. They need the jobs and we need the help.
California is a land of plenty. Farmers and ranchers supply half of the nation's fruits and vegetables and employ 450,000 workers during peak harvest season. The Golden State has been the top agricultural state since 1948 and is the sole producer in the nation of such popular commodities as almonds, artichokes, figs, kiwi fruit, olives, persimmons, pistachios, raisins, and walnuts. But without a reliable workforce, things would be drastically different. With our food supply going the way of oil and a dependence on foreign markets, and our nation quickly becoming one with plenty to worry about.
If I give up, then I'm giving up on an industry. And I know that my family is not ready to walk away from agriculture.
In a March 2006 field poll, 2/3 of Californians said they support a guest worker plan, a plan that would bring the state's 2.5 million unauthorized residents out of the shadows. Right now, these people are officially recognized as illegal aliens, but their dreams may not be so different from yours or mine.
American dreams for me is where I am now. I'm still learning the language. I like the culture. I'm happy in this country.
Oh, I love California. I think it's one of the best states on the United States. Yeah. You know, and this is where I grow. You know, I come here. I was 14 years old when I came the first time. Yeah. You know, so for me, this is my home.